One more game. That is all it takes for the Mariners to advance to the American League Championship Series. Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Rooftop Sports, and here I am also joined by myself, Rooftop Sports. And this is going to be Game 4 of the American League Division Series between the Seattle Mariners and the Detroit Tigers. And what a impressive offensive performance by the Mariners yesterday, where they scored in 8 runs, where they made it to at most an 8-1 lead. Unfortunately, Caleb Ferguson did not pitch well in the 9th inning, which is why it led to an 8-4 victory, leading Andres Munoz to pitch. But hopefully this time, the Mariners will bring it all together and complete this game with a victory. And with the pitchers that they've got today, they got Bryce Miller. This will be his playoff debut going up against Casey Mize, who has already pitched in the playoffs. He has allowed a total of, he has a 3.0 ERA. He has given up a home run. So I guess he hasn't really done too much, but Mariners have a big task ahead of them. They have to absolutely win this game in order to avoid going into Game 5 against Tarek Skubal, which that is the last thing that anyone wants, including the Mariners. They do not want to go into Game 5 with the risk of facing Tarek Skubal. Like, you just don't want it. It's just not worth it. Let's just get it done now. And now the starting lineup for the Mariners, we've got Randy Arozarena, Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez, Jorge Polanco, Josh Naylor, Eugenio Suarez, Dom Canzone, Victor Robles, and J.P. Crawford. Those will be the guys that will be the lineup for the Seattle Mariners, although I still think that Victor Robles should be the leadoff hitter. Now the leadoff hitters for the Detroit Tigers. We got Kerry Carpenter, Gleyber Torres, Kobe Keith, Riley Green, Spencer Torkelson, Zach McKinstry, Dingler, Parker Meadows, and Javier Baez. Now, to say that this will be a tough game will be an understatement. Sure, the Mariners got a dominant victory yesterday, but does not guarantee a thing that the Mariners will. It does not guarantee that the Mariners will for sure win this game, although that the pitching matchup is more favorable for the Mariners, which honestly I don't think it is, because they don't have George Kirby, which I wanted him to be the pitcher. Just get it done and just get it over with, especially when, if you win this game, you'll have Friday off and Saturday off anyway, so you can get that rest, and George Kirby will be ready sometime in the middle of the series anyway, especially when you can trust your pitchers to pitch at least pretty well in the American League Championship Series, which they would not have home field advantage. They would only have it if the Yankees win that series. But we're going to see. We're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. This game is about to start in 3 minutes. And hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Looks like we got a comment coming in. We got typical someone. Padres are out, so you're fully all in for the Mariners. Also, come into my YouTube channel. I'll give you the link for my YouTube channel. I'll go ahead and give you the link so you can go to my YouTube channel rather than my Twitch account. I don't really get much activity on the Twitch, so it's going to be coming to you in just moments. All right, let's go find that link. Here it is. And there you go. And right now it does say I'm live on my Facebook. I even started to use my personal Facebook as well on this. So I am excited. Maybe I'll see other people commenting, but we'll see. This game's about to start in about 2 minutes. I gotta get some water because this is going to be a long baseball game, I tell you. But to make anyone feel better, the Mariners are 4-0 when they have an opportunity to win the series. And the last time, it was 95 when they won Game 5 of the American League Division Series. And then you got 2000, and then 2001, I guess on do or dies, like when you're on a game clincher kind of situation. We got Tatsuya Imai Thank you for being here. Let me find that stat really quick. I can't find it anymore. But all I know is Mariners are 4-0 because I think it was in 95, 2000, 2001 on deciding factors, or I think it might be 3-0. Well, I guess we'll find out. Casey Mize will be the pitcher. He only pitched 3 innings last time, gave up a run. So it looks like he might be a bullpen day guy. So, I mean, I guess we'll see. He was 14-6 on the season with a 3.87 ERA. I had used him in my fantasy team sometimes. He's got a fastball, a splitter, a slider, a slurve, and a sinker. And yep, that's what they're showing the batting order, which I've already announced. Your first 3 are going to be Randy Arozarena, Al Raleigh, and Julio Rodriguez. And also belated congratulations to Josh Naylor. I think he already got his kid. So we'll see where it goes. Let me double check on that. Did Josh Naylor have a kid? And yep, they did. Very recently. So congratulations. And now we're going to get to the very first pitch, and it will be brought to you by SeatGeek. Use that promo code Rooftop Sports if you'd like to save your $20. And now here is the pitch. And that is going to be a strike, and we are underway here at Comerica Park. Typical asks how I feel about Julio Rodriguez's last game performance, which I will take a look. I didn't get to watch the game last night. Now the pitch. Now here's going to be a liner, ground ball to third base, easy play, throw to first. That's in time, and Randy Arozarena seemed to have just given that up. Maybe I think he could have ran a little bit faster on that one to make it a close on him. And it's going to be 1 out on a play by Zach McKinstry. You got Riley Green, Parker Meadows, and Kerry Carpenter as your outfielders. Infielders, Zach McKinstry, Javier Baez, Gleyber Torres, and Spencer Torkelson. Your catcher is Dylan Dingler. And now we got the big dumper, Cal Raleigh, up to the plate. And now here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss. And how I felt about Julio's performance yesterday, he went 0 for 5, 2 strikeouts. Pretty concerning. But he is a very streaky guy. And now it's 0-1. And now here is the pitch. Way up inside. And that almost kind of hit him. And that's going to be 1-1 for Cal Raleigh. And I'm saying it. I really just want to get this over with and just get it done. As now we're at 1-1. And now the pitch. And that's going to be popped up and fouled. As now we're at 1-2. And the guy got a new t-shirt, Dump 62 here. He must have went to a local t-shirt shop, or maybe he already pre-bought those. But he is there. And he did meet Cal Raleigh himself after he got that home run, which bounced right to him. Congratulations on that, fan. Just wish it was me. And now we're at 1-2 for the dumper. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball. That is going to be 2-2 on Cal Raleigh. 1 out so far. Cal Raleigh in the postseason is so far batting .462. And now here is the 2-2 pitch. And he reaches it. And that's going to be another foul ball. I don't know if that was outside the strike zone. It looked like it was. But maybe the umpire could have called it a strike anyway. And now we're at 2-2 on the dumper. As we are at 2-2. And now the pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball, 3-2. I like the patience out of Cal Raleigh. Someone on Facebook has given me a like so far. And 2 people are watching on my Facebook. As now we're at 3-2. Now the pitch. And now here's going to be a fly ball to right field. And is that going to be playable? It is not. That just bounced into it. That just bounced. And Kerry Carpenter was going for that just as much as Spencer Torkelson was. Umpires, we got Chris Guccione, Alan Porter, Nate Tomlinson, Alex Tossi, Jermaine Rehack, and I can't say these names. And now we're at 3-2 for the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. I gotta put my hat on. And now we're at 3-2. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. That was on a splitter, and that's going to be 2 outs. And now we got Julio Rodriguez, who was 0 for 5 yesterday. He's got to step up this time because the Mariners, the last thing we need is to be having ourselves force a game, have the Tigers force a game 5 and go up against Tarek Skubal. I got Joe Kramer on the show. He thinks it's on to the ALCS. And now here is the pitch, and that's going to be a foul ball. Joe Kramer, if you're hearing this on Instagram, I'm thinking they could have gone with George Kirby, but that's just my opinion. But I guess they were not on desperation on short rest or something. I don't know. Julio is 4 for 14 in the postseason. Now the 0-1 pitch, and that's going to be inside for a ball, 1-1. Julio's batting .286 in the postseason, including that home run that he hit in Game 1. And now the 1-1 pitch. And I think that hit him, or is that a foul ball? I wonder if they should review that. Nope, it's a foul ball. Now it's going to be 1-2. Probably should have turned into his elbow pads. Got 1-2, 2 outs. And now here is the 1-2 pitch, and that's going to be a ground ball foul. Fans are cheering up on their feet because they want to get to that bottom of the first inning. 14 pitches for Casey Mize. If Julio can find a way to stay alive, let's get to more than 20 so we can get straight to that bullpen and get them burned out. And so in case, they have nothing for Game 5, even with 1 day rest. And now the 1-2 pitch, and that's going to be a foul tip, and he is still fighting it off, and that's going to be 2-2. And now we're at 1-2. And that's going to be up high for a ball. That is going to be 2-2. Here's the pitch. And now here's going to be a fly ball. It's going to go into the left field. Riley Green makes the catch, and that's going to retire the side. We go to the bottom of the first inning. No hits, no runs, no errors. And we will go into bottom of the first, and we'll be back after these messages. Yeah, if you like some Mexican food, go to the Snoqualmie Mexican food truck. Go there right now. It is open, especially if you're hungry. Don't quit your day job. Yep. That was a huge reason why I didn't do the show yesterday. Kind of hurt too. Oh man, I think at some point I'm going to stand up throughout the show. I think I'll probably stand up once the Mariners get back on their offense, because I can only just sit for so long. And we are back from the break. Bryce Miller is now going to be the pitcher. And this is where I'm very nervous because he has not been exactly a good pitcher for the Mariners this season. He's certainly the opposite of 2024. So we're going to have to see where this goes. And I am very nervous, to say the least. Bryce Miller was 4-6 with a 5.68 ERA, mostly battled injuries, and 41% of his pitches are fastballs, where 19% are splitters, 17% are sinkers, 11% curveball, 8% slider, 4% sweeper. There's no doubt that this guy has talent. He's got stuff. He just got to mix it up and start using other pitches besides the fastball, because he is a flamethrower of a pitcher. But he's really still got to mess it up. And I'm going to look up Bryce Miller's numbers on the Baseball Savant page. But he is 2-0 against the Tigers. 15 strikeouts to 1. He had that no decision last year, but then that's when Scott Service pulled him out after he pitched like maybe 60 pitches. And now here is the pitch. And that is low for a ball. His velocity, looking at his pitches, where he's mostly he's at around a 94 mile an hour fastball compared to 95 last season. And now the pitch, swing and a miss, and that is going to be a strike. We are now at 1-1. Going to look up Bryce Miller's pitching logs. And in 2024, I want to see how many pitches that he had when he was with the Tigers, or if he was playing against the Tigers. He had, let me see. He had 90 pitches. And now here is the pitch. And check swing, that's foul. That is Kerry Carpenter. Kerry Carpenter versus Bryce Miller. Kerry Carpenter versus Bryce Miller. Here's the numbers. And now here's the pitch. And it's low for a ball. Kerry Carpenter has struck out twice on him. We're at 2-2. And now here's the 2-2 pitch. And now here's a liner to right field, and that is fouled. Kind of gave me a heart attack of a moment there. Now we're at 2-2. And now the pitch. And that's going to be popped up going into third base. Suarez is going to be there. And he makes the catch. And they did that notable shift move. And now we've got next up to the plate. That's going to be Gleyber Torres, who was a longtime former Yankee. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. Torres is 2 for 8 in his career against Bryce Miller. And now here is the pitch. It's going to be up high for a ball, 1-1. 97 mile an hour fastball. Still at 1-1. And now the pitch is going to be a foul ball. And it's going to be 1-2. Now we're at 1-2. And now the pitch. Low for a ball. That's going to be 2-2. Game 4. You are correct. Now we're at 2-2. And now the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And that is going to be 2 outs. In 24, he was a 2.94 ERA, 0.98 whip. His strikeout rate through 9 was really good, 8 through 9 innings. And he was a very valuable player. Like, he was on my fantasy baseball team, too. He was the biggest steal of my draft. And now the pitch to Keith, and that is going to be a strike. Keith, who was batting 167 throughout the postseason. Regular season batted 256 with 13 home runs and 45 RBIs. Now we're at 0-1. And now here is the pitch. And now here's going to be a ground ball to Bryce Miller. He got it. And a toss over the first and barely gets him in time. And that is going to retire the side. We will go into the top of the second inning. It is still no score. An easy 1-2-3 inning for Bryce Miller. Senor, tell me how you make a thin crust Sahara pizza.
With your hands. Cornmeal.
Hello, baseball fans. I'm excited to announce that we are still offering 50% off pizza and 25% off bowling Monday and Tuesdays. Head on over to Snoqualmie Sahara Pizza. This deal will go through May.
And that's how you make a Sahara pizza. Beautiful thin crust.
Oh, wow. I look a bit. Okay, I got to bring that camera back. I think that's a little bit better. I was like, right here. And we are back from the break. And now it's going to be the fourth guy up to the plate. It's going to be Jorge Polanco, batting 250 in the postseason, including 2 home runs against the Tigers in that game, too. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be right in there for a strike. And that's going to be 0-1. Polanco with 2 home runs and 2 RBIs with a 1.058 OPS. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be right in there for a strike. That was kind of his pitch to swing. Polanco's had a fine season. He had 26 home runs, around 70s RBIs. And he has maybe he makes a case for himself to be the comeback player of the year, but at the same time could be a semi-attractive free agent. As now we're at 0-2 and a swing and a miss, strike 3. Maybe I spoke too soon, and that's going to be 1 out. Next, we've got Josh Naylor, the recent new father of our society. And Josh Naylor hasn't really done much in the playoffs. He has yet to even record a hit, and that has got to change. And now here is the pitch to Josh Naylor, and that's going to be right in there for a strike. He is 0 for 13, but in the season he batted 295 with 20 home runs. And now the pitch, low for a ball. Would like to see some big action out of Josh Naylor. As now we're at 1-1. And now here is the pitch. Now here's going to be a liner to right field, and that is going to be, is that a fair ball? That is a fair ball, and he's going to be going into second base, and the throw to second is going to be not in time. And now we got a runner in scoring position with a double, 1-out double by Josh Naylor, and he finally gets his first hit of the postseason. Next up to the plate is going to be the good vibes only, Eugenio Suarez. Then on deck is going to be Dom Canzone, so he's guaranteed up to bat unless something stupid really happens. Yeah, definitely need to let's get some runs in. And now here's Suarez, now the pitch. And that's going to be right in there for a strike. That was a splitter, 91-mile-an-hour splitter. Suarez is 1 for 11, but he got that one hit that he really needed. That was a home run in Game 3. As now we're at 0-1. Here's the pitch. It's going to be 1 on Eugenio Suarez. It is still 1. It is 1-1. And now here's the 1-1. And that's a check swing foul. And that looked like that was a home run pitch to swing at. So kind of too bad that he didn't take advantage of a pitch. As now we're at 1-2 on Eugenio Suarez, the good vibes only. And he's to really spread more of the good vibes only for the offense for today. Now we're at 1-2. And now the pitch. Way outside for a ball. That's going to be 2-2. You took the afternoon off. Thank you, RGR21. Did you know that Josh and Bo Naylor are blood-related athletes to Denzel Clark? They are cousins. Had no idea. And now the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And that is going to be 2 outs. Third strikeout for Casey Mize. And now we're going to have Dominic Canzone up to the plate, who has also yet to record a hit. We've got 2 outs, and all I'm asking out of Dominic Canzone, he doesn't have to hit the home run. All he's got to do is he just has to just put something in play, and that might get Josh Naylor in. And now here's the pitch to Canzone. And now here's going to be a ground ball, and that is going to be a base hit. Is that going to wave in the run? Here comes Josh Naylor, and the throw to the plate is going to be not in time, and the Mariners get on the board on an RBI single by Dom Canzone right on the first pitch, and now it's the Mariners 1 and Detroit nothing. Nice hit by Dom Canzone, first hit of the postseason and first RBI of the postseason. And now it's good to see that the Mariners have a 1-0 lead, but they got to keep this thing going. And that ball was dropping for Canzone, but he got it anyway. And it was a really nice hit. Yeah, it was kind of low in the zone. And now here is Victor Robles up to the plate. Now the pitch. And that's going to be fouled back. Victor Robles, who is 1 for 8 in the series. He had a key hit yesterday. He was one of the runners scored. And he also arguably saved the regular season for the Mariners with that diving catch against Houston. Now we're at 0-1 the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. And that is going to be strike 2. You just feel that this game is going to be a really long game because there is just so much at stake. Got 3 likes on my Facebook. Get me some likes on this YouTube channel. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be low for a ball. And that is going to be 1-2. Got 3 people watching it on Facebook, 4 people watching it on YouTube. And now the pitch. Outside for a ball, 1 on Twitch. As now we're at 2-2 on Victor Robles with 2 outs. Camera showing on Dan Wilson. Mariners have scored in all 4 games of this series. And now the pitch. Oh, inside, and that hit him, and that's gonna be a free bag for Victor Robles, unless that was just fouled. Well, now it's 3-2, so I guess it did not hit him after all. I really thought it did. As now we're at 3-2. And now the pitch. Way outside for a ball. Ball 4, take your base. And now it's going to be J.P. Crawford, which, by the way, yesterday, he hit a home run to give the Mariners more of a Cushing lead. Casey Mize is now at 35 pitches. Next game will be the Blue Jays and the Yankees, where the Yankees are still on their do or die situation. If the Yankees are to win, I think they do force a game 5, and it will be in Toronto. I think that game will be Saturday, maybe. Got to double check on that. Actually, I think it's going to be Friday. It's going to be Friday, excuse me. Now, here's the pitch, and that's going to be inside for a ball. I don't know. Either you get the Yankees or the Blue Jays. I don't really know. There's not really a right or wrong answer for that. Mariners don't really match up on both of them either way, but we still got to win this series. The pitch, and that's going to be right in there for a strike. That's going to be 1-1. Crawford's batting .333 in the postseason. Casey Mize is now approaching 40 pitches. As now we're at 1-1. And now the pitch. And check swing. Did he go? He did go, but it looked like a strike anyway, and that's going to be 1-2. Randy Arozarena will be on deck if J.P. Crawford can stay alive, which means he's got to get a base hit, and this would be a good time to do it. Fans are now cheering. Some are up on their feet, as now we're at 1-2. Towels are waving, and now the pitch. And a swing and a miss, strike 3, a huge lost opportunity for the Mariners. They had 2 men on base, and now they leave 2. At least they got Josh Naylor in, but that could be a critical lost opportunity for the Mariners. And we're going to go into the bottom of the 2nd inning, and it is 1-0 Mariners.
We're making half pineapple, half tiki with barbecue chicken. You put the garlic. Put the pineapple on the whole pizza. Remember, they want half pineapple, and the one is going to be tiki. Tiki with pineapple, garlic, feta cheese, artichoke hearts, and the chicken. And we're going to spread some barbecue on top. It's ready. Put it on the oven. Let it run.
Hello, baseball fans. I'm excited to announce that we are still offering 50% off pizza and 25% off bowling Monday and Tuesdays. Head on over to Snoqualmie Sahara Pizza. This deal will go through May. Commercial break is still ongoing. Save 25% off. That shows how much the end is, I guess, not doing well. They're showing the NBA commercial. Mariners versus Yankees is like two worlds colliding in outer space. It has happened 3 times in the playoff history. 95, 2000, and 2001. Mariners won in 95. Yankees won in 2000 and 2001. And I'll just say 2000 and 2001 ruined my baseball childhood. I went on a huge long-term hatred for the Yankees, but then it started to die down when the Mariners started to play stinky. Like when the Yankees won the World Series in 2009, I didn't even care. And now we are back. Yep. October 8th. And also the Adam Frazier double, too. The Adam Frazier RBI against the Toronto Blue Jays was also the anniversary 3 years ago. So, yeah, October 8th. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we have that magic. And now here is the first pitch. Now here it is. And that's going to be a foul ball. That is Riley Green up to the. We got 8 innings. I don't know. All I can say is we got 7 innings to go until the Mariners, if the score holds up, they will advance to the American League Championship Series. And now we're at 0-1. And now the pitch. And that's low for a ball. Spencer Torkelson will be on deck. And now the pitch. And now here's going to be a ground ball foul. That's going to be 2 strikes on Riley Green. Now we're at 1-2. And now the pitch. And that's going to be popped up. And is that going to be playable? Here's Cal Raleigh. And no, it's well out of play. Now it's going to be 1-2. Now we're at 1-2. And now the pitch. That is low for a ball. That's going to be 2-2. Brian Wu has been dealing with a pectoral injury, which is why he's not available for the division series. Hopefully we see him available for the American League Championship Series. Now we're at 2-2, the pitch. Now here's going to be a ground ball right to Naylor, toss Miller, and that's going to be out. It's going to be the first out of this. Next following is going to be Zach McKinstry. Now here is Spencer Torkelson up to the plate. And now the pitch. And that's going to be right in there for a strike. We're at 0-1 for Torkelson. He's batting 4 for 22 in this postseason. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. And now we're at 0-2 on Spencer Torkelson. Now we're at 0-2. 21 pitches for Bryce Miller so far. Let's hope it keeps it under 30 going into third inning. And now the 0-2 pitch. And now here's going to be a fly ball drilled to right field, but Victor Robles makes the catch. It looked good from that angle. And now we've got 2 outs. Gave me a slight heart attack just by that angle. They're really struggling to hit. They'll be looking to walk, like Logan's leadoff walk was his only run. And now the pitch. And now here's going to be a liner, and that's going to go in for a base hit. That was Zach McKinstry with the hit. And now we got a man on first base, and Tigers get their first man on. Now we got 2 outs. Well, we still have 2 outs. And now we got Dylan Dingler, who is 2 for 21 in the postseason. He does have 1 home run, and that was dating back to the Cleveland series. And now the pitch, and that is going to be inside, and that's going to be a no throw. He stays at first base. Cal Raleigh was checking the runner, thought he was going to steal. Now we're at 1-0. Oh, and the throw back to first, and that is not in time. Mariners have left 19 men on base, while the Tigers have also left 19. And now the pitch. And now here's going to be a fly ball to center field, but Julio's going to be there. And he makes the catch, and that's going to retire the side. A man got on, but Bryce Miller got away with it anyway. And how many pitches does he have? 25 pitches. So far, he's been pitching very well. And let's hope that he keeps it that way. I want to remind you, with the Mariners finally hosting the American League Division Series, you will want to score playoff tickets since the Mariners making the playoffs seem like an every once in a while thing. So don't miss your opportunity to use SeatGeek, where you can find the best seats for the best deal. Use my promo code ROOFTOPSPORTS to get $20 off the purchase. Yeah, why not save that $20 for concessions, or let alone check out the International District and check out their authentic food options. And now back to the 2001 Mariners season. Since 2022, I have been building the Rooftop Sports YouTube channel, and I want to thank all of you for your support and engagement. Without all of you, there is no Rooftop Sports. Now, if you would like to take your support to the next level, join my exclusive YouTube membership program for just $5 a month. Get first access to new videos, ad-free content, and exclusive insights from my fantasy sports, as I do play many fantasy sports leagues. Plus, follow along with my softball seasons like never before. You also get access to my own emojis to use to comment on my videos and my live streaming shows. For just $5 per month, become a bigger part of my community and get ready for unparalleled sports experience. Let's do this. Kevin Kirby asks, I wonder if the Mariners win this game, if they would consider going to Toronto today if Toronto wins, considering Detroit is only 3 hours from Toronto. No, they're going to go back home no matter what, because it's also a matter of... And that is a good question, though. Like, would they just save the trip? No, I think what happens is they just go back home, because I guess they don't want to spend all that money on hotels. Like, and it's very uncertain. They have to get the bookings and everything of that. There's a lot of logistic issues that would be in play. Why waste the jet fuel? Yeah, well, there's also a why waste the money on hotels if you don't know. I don't know. It's not but I wonder if the Mariners do win and they do come back to Seattle. I wonder if there's going to be fans that show up to cheer for them. I wonder. I wonder how much money the Mariners spent on travel. Yeah, pretty much. And now here's the pitch to Arozarena. Now here's going to be right to third base, McKinstry on the first pitch, and already 1 out within just literally a split second. And now we've got 1 out, and it's going to be Cal Raleigh up to the plate, where yesterday he did hit that home run, but he is 0 for 1 now. So would like to see him go for something else. I mean, just go for another home run or some kind of big hit. He's batting .429 in the postseason, though. And now the pitch. Way up high for a ball. That is going to be ball 1. As now we're at 1-0, and now here is the pitch. Way up high again, and that is going to be 2-0. Now we're at 2-0 again, and now the pitch. Way outside for a ball. That's going to be 3-0, and I'm just going to say the red light on this one. Unless Casey Mize gives him something really good, which is also just as possible. But maybe you walk him so you can cause a double play, because Julio's not pitch hitting pretty well. The pitch, and that is a strike, and I saw that coming. And now we're at 3-1. I think Cal Raleigh, I think he was trying to walk because he wanted to get Julio a chance to drive him in. I guess home runs are getting pretty tough to come by. As now we're at 3-1, and now here's the pitch. And that's going to be ball 4, take your base. And now we've got Julio Rodriguez up to the plate with Cal Raleigh on first. Looks like bullpen is getting some activity. And now here's the pitch to Julio. And a swing and a miss, and that's going to be strike 1. Julio's now batting .267 in the playoffs. He hasn't really done as much since the homestand. The pitch, and that's going to be a strike. That's going to be 0-2 on Julio Rodriguez. Now we're at 0-2 for Julio. And the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that is going to be 2 outs already. 5th strikeout for Casey Mize. And now we've got Jorge Polanco up to the plate. He doesn't have a runner in scoring position, so he doesn't have much to work with. If Cal Raleigh was on second base, that would be that would be Jorge Polanco's chance to shine. Casey Mize, 48 pitches. We got Holton in the bullpen, and now the pitch, and that's going to be a foul ball. Jorge Polanco struck out last time, and that was in the, I think that was in the 2nd inning. As we're at 0-1. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, and that is going to be strike 2. Mariners are really trying to get to Casey Mize so they can get into the bullpen. He has 50 pitches now going into the 3rd inning. And the fans are up on their feet screaming again. As now we're at 0-2 on Polanco. He's got to get a big hit to extend this inning. And now here's the 0-2 pitch. And that's going to be popped up and fouled. Mariners have a 2-1 lead in the division series. 1 win away, and they will advance to the American League Championship Series for the first time since 2001. Now we're at 0-2, and now the pitch. And fouled again. He is fighting it off. 89-mile-an-hour splitter now at 52 pitches. Now we're at 0-2 for the Polo. And now the 0-2 pitch. And outside for a ball. That's going to be 1-2. Let's get the Mariners back into business. More back into business. And now the pitch. Oh, and strike 3 called. That was right on the corner. And that is going to retire the side. We will go into the bottom of the 3rd inning. Mariners are barely hanging on 1-0. Senor, tell me how you make a thin crust Sahara pizza.
With your hands. Cornmeal.
Hello, baseball fans. I'm excited to announce that we are still offering 50% off pizza and 25% off bowling Monday and Tuesdays. Head on over to Snoqualmie Sahara Pizza. This deal will go through May.
And that's how you make a Sahara pizza. Beautiful thing.
Well, here we are. Really should get a snack real soon, too. Yeah, they're showing Applebee's. They're making me hungry, as if I already am. Talking to Dan Wilson, and we are back from the break. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be popped up into the shortstop, and J.P. Crawford is there, and he makes the catch, and that's going to be 1 away. Bryce Miller so far pitching very efficient. He has half the pitches that Casey Mize has. Now here's Javi Baez up to the plate. He's batting .318 in the postseason. Now here's the pitch. Way inside for a ball. 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Now we're at 1-0. And now the pitch. Swing and a miss. And that was an 87-mile-an-hour slider. And that is going to be a 1-1 count. Because we're at 1-1. And now the pitch. And now it's going to be a fly ball to more like a pop-up. And Suarez is going to be there, and he makes the catch. And that's going to be 2 away. And now we got next batter. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be a check swing, and that's going to be a foul ball. Should have been fair, so Cal Raleigh can just throw him out. We're at 0-1 right now. Got Tom Verducci is reporting on the sidelines from the dugout as we're at 0-1 for Kerry Carpenter. And now the 0-1 pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. That was a knuckle curve by Bryce Miller. And that's going to be 0-2. Now we're at 0-2. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. Still at 0-2. Now we are at 0-2. And now the pitch. Low for a ball. That's going to be 1-2. That was another knuckle curve. Bryce looks way better than the other 3 starters in the first 3 innings, keeping fastballs and off speeds down very well, way calmer. You said it, Gamer 11. Now we're at 1-2. And now the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that is going to retire the side. We go into the top of the 4th inning. Another easy 1-2-3 inning for Bryce Miller. And we'll be back after this timeout. Senor, tell me how you make a thin crust Sahara pizza.
With your hands. Cornmeal.
Hello, baseball fans. I'm excited to announce that we are still offering 50% off pizza and 25% off bowling Monday and Tuesdays. Head on over to Snoqualmie Sahara Pizza. This deal will go through May.
And that's how you make a Sahara pizza. Beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, Casey Mize looks solid as well because the Mariners just can't get a hit off of him. Is that regarding to Bryce Miller or Casey Mize, Gamer 11? And we are back from the break. And that is enough of Casey Mize. Only 3 innings pitched. And now it's going to be Tyler Holton. This postseason, he has not earned a run at all. Now here is Josh Naylor. And it's going to be another bullpen day for the Tigers. But Tigers did win on a bullpen day in game 1. So anything really is possible. And Casey Mize is only on 54 pitches. And now the pitch to Naylor. Now here's going to be a ground ball bounce off the glove. And that's going to get right through for a base hit. That actually could be an error. It took a weird ricochet, and Javier Baez couldn't get to it. And now we got a man on first base. Yeah, Casey Mize is on 54 pitches, so I was a little bit surprised. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, it could. Even Baez couldn't get to it either. Kind of bounced off of him. And I wonder if they're still counting it as a base hit, or are they counting it as an error, which it very much could be an error. Now, here's Suarez. That is low for a ball. It looks like it is just going to be, it's considered a base hit. Suarez is at low for a ball. And the pitch, way outside for a ball. And that's going to be 2-0. Because now we're at 2-0. And now here is the pitch. And that is right in there for a strike. And the pitch, way inside for a ball. Now it's 3-1. And the pitch. Now here's going to be a liner to left field, and that is going to be a base hit. And now we got runners on first and second with nobody out on a base hit by this guy.
All right, guys, goodbyes only. Don't forget it. Stop it. Thank you.
Casey Mize had, I think, 4 strikeouts, 5 strikeouts, 6 strikeouts, and they still pulled him. And now we got Holton up to the plate, or he's the pitcher, and now they're going to have a pitching coach talk. No, why? What do you do? Mitch Garver? Oh, come on. Not Mitch Garver. You can't be doing this. So they did this for matchup reasons. So, but they countered it by putting in Mitch Garver. It's like, no, Dom can't. All right, let's go over the analytics and see if this even makes sense. Dom Canzone is batting .276 against lefties. Against lefties. Why? Mitch Garver's only a .230 hitter. Dom, they're pulling a guy that's batting .276 against lefties. I don't know. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a strike. I know. Like, what are they doing? No, Canzone should not be penalized. And now we're at 0-1. And now the pitch. Swing and a miss, and that's going to be strike 2. Already a bad decision. I just don't get it. Here, I'll do this one. Mitch Garver versus... This is a bad decision. He's batting .233. 5 home runs, sure, whatever. As now we're at 0-2. And now the pitch. And now here's going to be a ground ball foul that almost was a double play. As now we're at 0-2. Not liking this. And now here's the pitch. Low for a ball. Like, I'm all for matchups, but this is like a really bad decision. I think this was a terrible decision by Dan Wilson. I don't trust it one bit. And now we're at 1-2. And now the pitch. Way inside for a ball. That's going to be 2-2. If Mitch Garver strikes out, like, this is a very critical decision in a bad way. As now we're at 2-2. And now the pitch. And now here's going to be a fly ball, more like a pop-up to right field. A lot of running, though. And actually, that's going to be a foul ball. Now we're at 2-2. And if he strikes out, this is a really bad move by Dan Wilson. And now here's the 2-2 pitch. Low for a ball. That's going to be 3-2. Like, the only way this move makes me happy, only if Canzone drives in those runs. If he strikes out or even walk, I'm still not going to be happy. As now we're at 3-2. And now the pitch. Outside for ball 4. And now the bases are loaded for Victor Robles. And there's also no outs. What could possibly go wrong? And I'm testing the fate, that's for sure. And AJ Hinch has seen enough, and he's going to go with the right-hander. And we'll be back after this timeout. Senor, tell me how you make a thin crust Sahara pizza.
With your hands. Cornmeal.
Hello, baseball fans. I'm excited to announce that we are still offering 50% off pizza and 25% off bowling Monday and Tuesdays. Head on over to Snoqualmie Sahara Pizza. This deal will go through May.
And that's how you make a Sahara pizza. Beautiful thing.
Worked, but Garver is our only catcher, right? So he's stuck in the whole game. Took out our only RBI of the game so far. Yeah, pulling Mize, I was really surprised too. But I am just as surprised. I think it was just as bad of a decision of ripping away Dom Canzone. And looks like we are back from the break. Listening from West Texas, known as the Hicks. And now here's the pitch. And that is going to be outside for a ball. And now here's the pitch. It's going to be a swing and a miss. I do give him credit, but I still think it was a bad decision by Danny Boy. And now the pitch. Low for a ball, and that is going to be 2-1. Now here's Victor Robles at 2-1. And now the pitch. Now here's going to be a ground ball. Could be double play ball. Throw to second and a throw to first. And that is in time for the double play. But the good news is the Mariners still get the run. And it's going to be 2-0 Mariners. But now there's 2 outs. That's the point. But you do have a man on third base. Got Eugenio Suarez. And now you got J.P. Crawford up to the plate. And all he's got to do is just poke one in. Not a good at bat by Victor Robles, though. He does. I don't even know if that even credits him with the RBI either. It doesn't. And now here's J.P. Crawford up to the plate. And now here's the pitch. Way inside. That nearly hit him. And that's going to be 1-0. Yeah, kind of a wasted opportunity for the Mariners. I mean, with the bases loaded, there was just so much more you could have done. Now we're at 1-0. And now the pitch. Up high for a ball. And the Dingler tried to frame it, but umpire wasn't buying it one bit. Now we're at 2-0. And now the pitch. And he golf swings it, pop up, and that's going to be more than playable. Dingler is there, and he makes the catch, and that's going to retire the side. Yes, the Mariners got a run in there, but still very disappointing. Just only one run, and there could have been a lot more out of that. But we will go into the very next inning, or the next part of the inning. It was a real blown opportunity. That's an understatement.
Now sizzling at Apollo Mediterranean Greek Food. Come enjoy our flat-top grilled Greek chicken and beef, Slovaki tender, juicy and bursting with Mediterranean flavor, served with savory yellow rice, fresh daily cut veggies for our crisp salads, homemade hummus, plus warm pita, and our signature tzatziki, perfect for a fresh filling meal made with care. Cold beer available. Order now at apollogreekfood.com. Come visit us for a delicious meal and a cold beer. We'd love to serve you.
That Lipsy thing is very cringe.
Wait, why is Danny DeVito fishing?
Oh, that doesn't matter. This is a Jersey Mike's commercial, so what matters most is your sub and that sub bowl. Don't tell anybody about my secret spot. Where the subs matter most. The Jersey Mike's thing. Welcome back to Detroit with Tigers manager AJ Hinch. Your 11th elimination game. You know how you do these on both ends of the fourth inning. Well, when the game dropped this off, at Naylor get save it back, save it. Somebody's got on. Gonna take things out.
And now we're back from the break, and now it's going to be Bryce Miller, and that is a strike. And now the pitch, and that's going to be a foul ball. Now we're at 0-2 for Gleyber Torres. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a line drive, and that's going to be a base hit going into center field. And now we've got a man on first base. We got a man on second base, so I am getting a little bit nervous. And now the pitch. Now here's going to be a liner to right field and foul, and looks like it may just be a matter of time until we get some activity out of Detroit. This does not look good so far. After 3 brilliant innings, it looks like now Tigers have a really good chance to fight back. As now we're at 0-1. And now here is the pitch. Now here's going to be a liner. Oh, it's going to be caught by Naylor and almost a double play. And now that's going to be 1 out. Nice play by Josh Naylor. Oh, it was a ground ball. Wait, I wonder if that could be a double play. I think that is a double play. That's a double play. Oh my goodness. And now I put myself in live for Twitter X. Great defensive play by Josh Naylor. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be up high for a ball. And now the pitch. Swing and a miss, and that's going to be strike 1. Now here's the 2-1, and now here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, and that is going to be strike 2. Now we're at 2-2. And now here is the pitch. Now it's going to be a ground ball right to Josh Naylor. He owns all 3 outs, and I got to be right back because I got food waiting for me. Be right back. Senor, tell me how you make a thin crust Sahara pizza.
With your hands. Cornmeal.
Hello, baseball fans. I'm excited to announce that we are still offering 50% off pizza and 25% off bowling Monday and Tuesdays. Head on over to Snoqualmie Sahara Pizza. This deal will go through May.
And that's how you make Sahara pizza. Beautiful thing.
Commercial's still going on. Commercial break is still ongoing. Now we're back from the break, and now here is Randy Arozarena. Now the pitch, and that's going to be inside. That's going to be in there for a strike. As we're at 0-1 for Randy. And now here's the pitch, and that is going to be low for a ball, and that is going to be 1-1. Now we're at 1-1, and now the pitch. Now here's going to be a line drive, and that time that gets right through for a base hit. Went to third base, and you're saying it. Someone said it that Randy Arozarena was due because his last two at bats, it was line outs to third base, and he hits it towards third base again, only to get it through this time. So now we got a man on first base, and it's going to be up to Cal Raleigh to see what he can do. Now here's the pitch to Cal Raleigh, and now here it is. And that's going to be a foul ball. Now we're at 0-1, and now the pitch, and it's going to be a foul ball. Now we're at 0-2. Now the pitch. Low for a ball that gets away, but Randy has to stay. Randy Arozarena really had no chance to get to second base. As now we're at 1-2. And now here is the pitch. And that gets away. And this time, Randy Arozarena will get to second base. And now we're at 2-2. And now here is the pitch. And now here's going to be a liner to right field, and that is going to be a base hit, and that should be scoring in Randy Arozarena. It does. And now the Mariners have now taken a 3-0 lead on an RBI single by Cal Raleigh, the big dumper. And it's now the Mariners 3 and Detroit nothing. Mariners are just trying to put this series away so they can get some good rest going into the ALCS for the first time since 2001. Cal Raleigh had 125 RBIs on the season. And now here's Julio Rodriguez. Now here's the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. It's going to be 0-2 for Julio. He is 0 for 2. Now here's the pitch. Low for a ball, and that's going to be 1-2. They're talking about Cal Raleigh with that controversy that he may have sparked, where he was talking about the ownership at the end of 23. Now we're at 0-2. And now here's the 1-2 pitch. And that is low for a ball. That's going to be 2-2. And mind you, the Mariners are still, and I mean they are still, have no outs right now with a man on first base. As now we're at 2-2 for Julio. And now here is the pitch. Now here's going to be a ground ball, could be double play ball. Throw to second and then throw to first. And that is going to be not in time. Julio gets to first base, but Cal Raleigh gets out at second, unfortunately. And now it's going to be to Jorge Polanco, and that's going to be low for a ball. As now we're at 1-0 for big dumper Cal Raleigh, or Jorge Polanco. As now we're at 1-0. And now the pitch, it's going to be a throwback to first and not in time. And now the pitch. It's going to be inside for a ball. It's going to be 2-0. Julio really should steal. Now here he goes. The runner goes, and that's going to be a fly ball to right field. And is that going to be fair? Barely foul. That was really close. Julio's probably like, what the heck, man? Now we're at 2-1. I think he's going to go. And Julio does go. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball to left field. And Riley Green is there and he makes the catch. Polanco really should have just took the pitch and let Julio go to second base. And now it's going to be 2 outs already. Not really happy about that. Now here's Josh Naylor up to the plate. And now the pitch. Now here's going to be a ground ball off the glove. And the throw to first. Going to be in time to retire the side. But Cal Raleigh gets in a run to give the Mariners a 3-0 lead. And excuse me while I have some stuff to eat within the next minute.
Taco lovers, this one's for you. Come enjoy tacos autenticos at Snoqualmie Mexican food truck, packed with flavor, made with love, and always fresh. Try our carne asada, al pastor con piña, and more. Topped with cebolla, cilantro, y a squeeze of lime. Pair it with a cold drink and relax at our outdoor seating. Perfecto para disfrutar. Find us at the Snoqualmie Mexican food truck, open daily. Then try our delicious burgers today. Satisfy your cravings with our mouth-watering burgers. Double cheeseburger with classic double beef patties with melted cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, onion and house sauce, a fresh, flavorful delight. Double bacon cheeseburger, crispy bacon, fried onions, barbecue sauce, and double cheese. Double guacamole bacon burger, double cheese, crispy bacon, guacamole, lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and our special house sauce. Pair any burger with fries with an ice-cold drink for the perfect meal. Come down and taste the difference. You can only find these burgers at our Snoqualmie Mexican food truck. Since 2022, I have been building the Rooftop Sports YouTube channel, and I want to thank all of you for your support and engagement. Without all of you, there is no Rooftop Sports. Now, if you would like to take your support to the next level, join my exclusive YouTube membership program for just $5 a month. Get first access to new videos, ad-free content, and exclusive insights from my fantasy sports, as I do play many fantasy sports leagues. Plus, follow along with my softball seasons like never before. You also get access to my own emojis to use to comment on my videos and my live streaming shows. For just $5 per month, become a bigger part of my community and get ready for unparalleled sports experience. Let's do this.
These are long commercials. Might as well keep eating. And now we are back from the break. And the Mariners are now at the bottom of the fifth. Is about the halfway point. Now here's Spencer Torkelson. And now the pitch. And that is a strike. And one of the notable last times I saw Spencer Torkelson get that hit was game 2 of the division series, where he hit the 2-run double to tie the game. And AJ Pierzynski, he criticized Spencer Torkelson or Matt Brash. Now the pitch. Now here's going to be a fly ball blooper. That's going to be a base hit. And now we got a man on first base. The thing was, so AJ Pierzynski, he criticized Spencer Torkelson with Matt Brash with a pitch, a fastball right in the zone. Like it was on the inside corner. And he said, "Why'd you pitch a fastball?" I was like, well, because he had pitched 3 sliders in a row. all three of them missed a strike zone. And he got lucky to get one strike out of it. And there was no way Torkelson was going to swing at another one. And now we got Gabe Spire in the bullpen. Now here's the pitch. Up high for a ball. I wonder if Dan Wilson is going to pull him out, though. And I hope he doesn't, because he's only on 47 pitches, so it would really make no sense. As we're at 1-0. You want to save the bullpen, possibly for a game 5. Now here's the 1-0 pitch. And that's going to be a strike, and that's going to be 1-1. As we're at 1-1. And now here's the pitch. And that is low for a ball, and that is going to be 2-1. After the game, we'll do the post-game show, and Jay Trident Podcast will be on it. As now we're at 2-1. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a strike, and that's going to be 2-2 on Zach McKinstry. As now we're at 2-2. And now the pitch. Now here's going to be a ground ball. That's just going to go to second base, but you're not going to get a play at first base. But nice heads-up play by Josh Naylor to nail the guy at second base. Now we're at 1-0. Pete Woodworth is coming out, having a little chatter. And they're doing a Capital One commercial. As you can tell, it's this time of the year of my sniffles. Now we're at 1-0. Now we're at 1-0. Spire is ready. Now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. Bryce Miller's fastball seems to be down to 95. As now we're at 1-1. And now the pitch. Low for a ball. And that's now going to be 2-1. And looks like Bryce Miller kind of is struggling in this inning, which makes you feel a little bit nervous. Now we're at 2-1 and a pitch. And now here's a fly ball to left field, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. That is easily going to score in the run. And here he comes, and now it's going to be a 3-1 game. And now the Tigers get themselves on a board. And that is a double, an RBI double. Chris Bell, how's it going? Yep, let's go, but just gave up a run. And I think that's going to be enough for Bryce Miller. Yep, and here comes Dan Wilson, and he has seen enough. He's going to bring in the left-hander in Gabe Spire. Bryce Miller did as good as he could, But then looks like the batters finally got to him. And we'll be back after this timeout.
Senor, tell me how you make a thin crust Sahara pizza.
With your hands. Cornmeal.
Hello, baseball fans. I'm excited to announce that we are still offering 50% off pizza and 25% off bowling Monday and Tuesdays. Head on over to Snoqualmie Sahara Pizza. This deal will go through May.
And that's how you make a Sahara pizza. Beautiful thing.
And we are back from the break. And now it's going to be Gabe Spire up on the mound. He's been fantastic in this postseason, especially in that Game 2 performance to strike out Kerry Carpenter. But now here is Jones in the pitch. And now here's going to be a liner, and that's going to be a fair ball, and that is going to make it a 3-2 game already with Gabe Spire in. They already score in another run, and that's going to be an RBI double for the Tigers. And now it's the Mariners 3 and the Tigers 2. Oh my goodness, what is going on? It went from a 3-0 game. It looked like it was possibly going to be a runaway game for the Mariners. And now, next thing you know, now the Tigers have a chance to force Game 5 with Tarek Skubal. And there was nothing Suarez could have done, and that was on the first pitch. That's the scary part. And now here is Baez, and now it's going to be no throw. And I think once you get to the next batter, I think you should be... No, I think they're going to bank on the fact that you can get Baez out and Kerry Carpenter out. As now we're at 1-0. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. You can thank Randy Arozarena for his atrocious defense. And that's why there's questions on whether the Mariners may or may not keep him after this season because of that defensive mishap. As now we're at 1-1. And now here, oh no, and now another throw to second. And does he get him out? No, he doesn't. Barely got back in time. That was Jones, who was, by the way, a pinch hitter. Jones took over for Parker Meadows because of the matchups. That almost was a borderline balk. Yeah, he barely got back. Now we're at 1-1. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be a strike. And that's going to be 1-2. Now we're at 1-2. And now the pitch. And now here's a fly ball drilled to left field. And foul ball, just barely. I don't think you can have Gabe Spire anymore after this inning either. They're somehow getting it off of him. And that I was so sure that that was going to be out. And now we're at 1-2. The pitch. Low for a ball. And now the Mariners are just struggling just to get out of this inning. And not only can you can also thank the Mariners for leaving the bases loaded, but with only coming up with 1 run and leaving 2 men on at some point in this game. And now we're at 2-2. And now here is the pitch. And now here's going to be a ground ball, and that's going to get right through for a base hit. And now this ball game is tied, and now it's 3-3. And what are the Mariners doing? What is going on? You have Gabe Spire, one of the best pitchers in the bullpen on the Mariners, and now next thing you know, it's a 3-3 game. Oh my goodness, what just happened? As if the Tigers just don't want to go down without a fight. Now we got Kerry Carpenter up to the plate, and they'll throw to first, and that's going to be not in time. The only good news out of this is the Mariners do have a double play opportunity. But after this, they better get some runs back, because it only seemed like a matter of time that the Tigers were going to figure this out. And now here's the pitch. And now that's going to be a strike. Now we're at 0-1. And now here is the pitch. And now the runner goes and the throw to second, and obviously not in time. I mean, the worst part of this Tigers team, it's not like you're going up against bona fide superstars. You're going up against guys that are platoon players at best, and they're still beating up on you. And now we're at 1-1. And now the pitch. Swing and a miss, and that's going to be strike 2. You really just want to get this thing done. Like, you do not want to go into game 5. You just want to get this done so everyone can get some rest. And looks like there's some communication. What is going on? Spire looks visibly frustrated. Now we're at 1-2. And now here is the pitch. And he leans into it, and that's going to be a foul ball. Oh, yeah, that's what they're arguing. Because it looked like that was a strike, and there was a completely missed call. And now we're at 1-2. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be popped up and foul. So I think what they're trying to argue is that the pitch that became a stolen base, that was supposed to be a strike. That was clearly down the middle, and the umpire must have missed that call. And I want to take a look and see that, looking at that strike zone, and see what it was. They did call that a ball. And now the 1-2 pitch. And now here's going to be a ground ball, and here's Josh Naylor. And does he get him? He does get him. Bottom of the 5th, it's 2 outs, and now we've got Gleyber Torres up to the plate, the all-star for the Tigers. And by the way, they are going to walk him, and he goes to first base. And now it's going to be Colt Keith. I mean, of course it's the right move. And now here's the pitch to Keith. And now here's going to be a ground ball right to Josh Naylor, goes to first, and that's going to be in time. But a disastrous inning for the Mariners as the Tigers were able to get 3 runs to tie the game practically at a blink of an eye. And now we will go into commercial break, and I'm just speechless. Senor, tell me how you make a thin crust Sahara pizza.
With your hands. Cornmeal.
Hello, baseball fans. I'm excited to announce that we are still offering 50% off pizza and 25% off bowling Monday and Tuesdays. Head on over to Snoqualmie Sahara Pizza. This deal will go through May.
And that's how you make a Sahara pizza. Beautiful thing.
You would think, Fritz, but I don't know. This game is definitely getting out of hand. It was going to happen. Eventually, their hitting isn't that bad. Yeah, Mariners are going to have to tie it, of course. There was no way they were going to run away with this game easily. And these commercial breaks are even longer. And now we are back from the break. And we got Melton, another pitcher from the bullpen too. And Suarez missed one down the middle. Now here's the pitch. And again, swing and a miss, and that's going to be strike 2. Juancel Perez is on center field. And now we're at 0-2, and now here's the pitch. And that is going to be up high for a ball. Now it's 1-2, and it's foul ball. The Mariners absolutely got to get runs, obviously. And they got to score more than just runs. They got even like 3 runs is not enough. Obviously, it's not. And now we're at 1-2. And now here's the pitch. And now here's going to be a ground ball right to Melton. And then a toss to first. And that's going to be in time. And now we got Mitch Garver up to the plate. Wouldn't it have been nice if you still had Dom Canzone and not pull Mitch Garver, only to load the bases and to only get one run out of it? And now here is Luke Raley up to the plate. I don't want to know how this is going to go. He's batting only .202 with 4 home runs, but you knew that Luke Raley could not be the guy, or Mitch Garver could. Now the pitch. And now that's going to be a strike. I mean, look how much you wasted Dom Canzone for basically no reason. And now the 0-1 and a swing and a miss. And now the pitch 0-2, up high for a ball. Now we're at 1-2, and now the 1-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's going to be 2 outs. Yeah, Luke Raley was clearly not the right guy. If only he had Canzone still available. Now the pitch. And that's going to be popped up and fouled. And the Tigers look like they are destined to win this game. Probabilities now say that Tigers are going to be the winners of this game. And now we're at 0-1. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be a strike, and that is strike 2. Would really like to get out of this game with a victory so they don't have to play Friday with going against Tarek Screwball. Now the pitch and check swing. Did he go? He did not go. And that should have been strike 3, because why'd you even think about swinging at that? Now we're at 1-2. And now here is the pitch. Up high for a ball. That is going to be 2-2. And you can't really trust Robles to hit a home run. After that's going to be J.P. Crawford, who is 0 for 2. And now the 2-2. And ball low for a ball. And that is going to be 3-2. Now we're at 3-2. And now the pitch. And ball 4, take your base, and just barely. And now we've got J.P. Crawford up to the plate. After this game, it's going to be the Blue Jays versus the Yankees. And now here's J.P. Crawford. And now the pitch. Way inside for a ball. That's going to be ball 1 on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Mariners have got to get this game, or else you're going to go up against Tarek Screwball in Game 5. As now we're at 1-0. And now the pitch. Swing and a miss, and the throw to first, and not in time, just barely. As now we're at 1-1. After this inning, you're going to have, after this top of the inning, you're going to have Riley Green, Spencer Torkelson, and Zach McKinstry, who hit very well. And now we're at 1-1. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball to left field. And that's going to drop in for a base hit. And now we got runners on first and second with 2 outs. And now it's going to be Randy Arozarena up to the plate. And Randy, you don't have to hit home runs. Just try to get J.P. Crawford in. If you hit anywhere in the corners or anywhere in the gap, or even just get any kind of a base hit, that will score in Victor Robles. He thought he was going to get that, and I thought he was going to get that too. And now here is the pitch to Rosarena. Swing and a miss, and that is strike one. And it's going to be on 2 outs. He's batting .250 in the postseason. And now we're at 0-1. And now the pitch. What are you doing? Swing at that. That was right down the middle. And now it's going to be 0-2 on Randy Arozarena. So he won't swing at the good ones, but he'll swing at a shitty one, which he'll do. Watch this as we're at 0-2. And now the pitch. And that's going to be popped up, and that's not going to get anything done. The center fielder is there. He makes the catch, and that's going to retire the side. I am really frustrated by this. Senor, tell me how you make a thin crust Sahara pizza.
With your hands. Cornmeal.
Hello, baseball fans. I'm excited to announce that we are still offering 50% off pizza and 25% off bowling Monday and Tuesdays. Head on over to Snoqualmie Sahara Pizza. This deal will go through May.
And that's how you make a Sahara pizza. Beautiful thing.
And we are back from the break. Tigers have now a 61% chance to score again, which I definitely do believe. And Gabe Spire, they're still going to keep him on going up against Riley Green, who's a lefty. So that makes sense, that matchup wise. I think after this inning, they're going to pull him out. And now here is the pitch. And now here's a fly ball drilled to right field. Forget about that one. A home run by Riley Green. And now the Tigers have now taken a 4-3 lead. And now it does seem like that this series, the way it's been going, no Mariners offense after 3-0. Nothing. Bad decisions by Dan Wilson. It does seem like this is going into Game 5. I mean, I think that if the Mariners don't win this game, they might as well not show up for Game 5 because there is no way Scooball is going 0-4 against the Mariners this season. It's just not realistic. It's just not happening. And it's going to be Eduardo Bizzardo. Yeah, I mean, after like 40-something pitches, but at the same time, it seemed like they had figured him out. So I think Spire was the right move. It's just that they couldn't perform on that one. I'm finally going to sit down. I'm done standing. I've been standing long enough. This game is just torture. Now here's Spencer Torkelson, now the pitch. And that's going to be low for a ball. As now we're at 1-0. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be a strike, as that's going to be 1-1. First home run in 106 at-bats in this series. Last one, it was Kerry Carpenter. Now the pitch. Now here's going to be a ground ball, and that's going to be a fair ball into the corner. And now the disaster just keeps on continuing. Randy, what are you doing? Hustle! Why are you literally just jogging? This is why you're not going to be worth 18.2. That's why you're going to get traded by this team. I wonder if that's a foul ball. Well, it did bounce off. And now the pitch. And that is going to be a strike. All I can say is you better get ready for Game 5 against Tarek Scooball. And he is due. As now we're at 0-1. And now the pitch. And that's going to be low for a ball. As now we're at 1-1. And now the pitch. It's going to be low for a ball. A lot of Mariner fans criticize me on Facebook going, why are you so negative? It's because of stuff like this. And now we're at 2-1. And now here's a ground ball, and that's going to be a base hit, and that's going to score in another run. And now here is the throw to the plate, and it is a terrible throw by Victor Robles. And now, oh my goodness, what is going on? It is for sure going to be Game 5, and I'm going to take the as of now, we're on my live stream. It's going to say if necessary. I'm going to remove the if necessary. And now it's a 2-run lead by Detroit in the throw to first, and it's not in time. And now here is Dingler. Now the pitch. And that is outside for a ball. And by the way, who's going to go with... I think it's going to be either Castillo or Kirby. But I don't even know at this point. And now we're at 0-1 or 1-0. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be low for the ball. And I think the umpire doesn't even... I think this thing wants to go to Game 5. They want Tarek Skubal. It's all about the ratings, isn't it? As now we're at 2-0. We all knew that this 3-0 lead was not going to be enough. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a strike. Now we're at 2-1. And now the pitch. And that is going to be a foul ball. Now it's 2-2. Oh, he got him out. And Bizzardo throws him out, and there's some arguing going on. But, dude, relax. You're going to Game 5 anyway, and you're going to... Oh, come on, AJ Hinch. Why are you challenging this? It's going to go Game 5 anyway. Mariners aren't going to win. There's no reason to challenge this. This game is going to Game 5 anyway. You're going to win. Talk about greed by AJ Hinch. No, I'm just mad. That's all. They're not going to win anyway. If the Mariners win, I will do 50 push-ups in one sitting after this show. I'll even type it in there. They're not going to win. It's over. Yeah, the crowd's cheering. It looks like they think that it's going to be. Oh, runner is out. Oh, Tiger fans, stop being a bunch of babies. You guys are going to Game 5 anyway. Just book your tickets already. Use my promo code Rooftop Sports to get $20 off the purchase. It's kind of funny, Gamer 11, because you were dogging on Steve and I for being negative too, and now you're doing it. That's cute. Now here's Dingler. Now here's the pitch. And that's going to be strike 3 called, and Dingler is not happy about it. It's like, dude, relax. You're going to Seattle anyway. This game's going to Game 5. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a strike. All about balance. Oh, come on, Gamer Boy. What are you even talking about? Now we're at 0-1, the pitch. And a swing and a miss, and that's going to be strike 2. They're not coming alive. They usually mentally give up after this. For someone that has done... Oh, I have to count how many shows I've done this season. And now the pitch. outside for a ball. This is now my 70. I think this is now like my 74th show, 73rd, and now the pitch. I've watched 73 baseball games, and I can tell that the Mariners have just mentally gave up. And now we're at 2-2. And now the pitch. And now here's a liner to right field, and that is going to be a base hit. And it was off a really bad pitch, and it's going to second base. And now the Tigers are still threatening to score. And at this point, they're just being greedy. No mercy, right? Cal's coming up, but it doesn't matter. Mariners are mentally just checked out. You can just tell by how they're pitching. And right now, it's an 84% chance that the Mariners are going to lose this game. It's going to Game 5. And now here's Baez, who's up for the second time. And that's going to be up high for a ball. And now we're at 1-0. And now the pitch. And now here's a fly ball drilled to left field. Forget about that one and book your tickets to Game 5. This is definitely going to Game 5. There is no way that the Mariners are coming back. I am so tempted to end this stream. That's all I can say. Oh, boy. Oh, my goodness. What has happened? I'm just in absolute speechlessness is all I can say. Not only that, nobody is watching my show either. This thing is going to Game 5 for sure. And now the pitch, swing and a miss, and that's going to be strike one. And now here is the pitch, and that is a strike. And that's going to be low for a ball. And the worst part of it, the only ones that are really like contributing, it's all their crappy hitters. They're bottom hitters. And now there's going to be a fly ball to center field. And Julio makes the catch, and that's going to retire the side. All I can say is this. So here's what I got for you. Senor, tell me how you make a thin crust Sahara pizza.
With your hands. Cornmeal.
Hello, baseball fans. I'm excited to announce that we are still offering 50% off pizza and 25% off bowling Monday and Tuesdays. Head on over to Snoqualmie Sahara Pizza. This deal will go through May.
And that's how you make Sahara pizza. Beautiful clean crust.
If it was regular season, I'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever. But because this is like do or die, at least for the Tigers, and then you have Scooball coming up for Game 5. Yeah, we're screwed. You're not gonna. There's no way Scooball's gonna lose 4 in a row. That's just not gonna happen. It was only a matter of time. Like, it just felt too good to be true. It really did. Oh, Cal Raleigh just pops it out, and yeah, just forget it. Just just use my promo code Rooftop Sports if you would like to see the Mariners get their asses whooped by Tarek Scooball. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a strike. And now here's the pitch. It's going to be a foul ball. Dude, when Scooball's pitching, it's going to be an absolute humiliation. As now we're at 0-2. And now the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Just use my promo code Rooftop Sports if you'd like to see the Mariners get their asses whooped by Tarek Scooball. Oh, man. I'm sorry I don't have $1 million to cover it for you, man. And now the pitch. Yeah, you can just tell that the Mariners just gave up. Like, that check swing about by Jorge Polanco is all you need to know. And now it's going to be 0-2. Like, if the Mariners lose this series, it's going to go down as a failure. I am not giving them any praise, even for winning division. And strike 3 called, and that's going to retire the side. And we're going to go into the bottom of the 7th inning. And everyone, sit on your asses for some Take Me Out to the Ball game. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, so let's root for the Mariners. If they don't win, it's a shame. They already lost. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Louie. Oh no, said we gotta go. Yeah. Low way. Oh, baby, said we gotta go. Fine little girl, she waiting for me, catch a ship across the sea. I'm not in the mood. That's all I can do. Like, wow. There's no way Mariners come back. It's just not happening. Yeah, but the difference is gamer 11, it was something else. I mean, that was when the Mariners were down, so I wouldn't go with that. With a game wise, yes, sure. But why did you pull Dom Can Zone, which made absolutely no sense? But yeah, we're gonna go into game 5. At least the game's gonna be at. Wow, the game might actually be at. Well, unless the Yankees win tonight, it's gonna go to game 5. It's gonna be at 5 o'clock. Now the pitch. And that's when you know the game's over, because when Carlos Vargas is pitching, you know it's over. You know this is going to game 5 when. And now here's going to be a fly ball to deep right field, and that is going to be gone. And at this point, Gleyber Torres, you know this is going to. You know the Mariners lost and gave up when Vargas is pitching. Yeah, that's how much I'm just really depressed. It's now 8-3. It's not even frustrating. It's just funny at this point. Like, Tarek Skubal game 5. Mariners don't have the momentum. You can just kiss this series goodbye. And that is a strike. Now here is the pitch. And now it's going to be a fly ball to deep left center field. And Julio is there and he makes the catch. I mean, watch that Yankees Blue. Yeah, they're right in it with them. Yeah. And that's going to be a strike. Swing and a miss, and that's strike 2. Eight to 3, and the Mariners blew a 3-0 lead. Now we're at 0-2. Now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. Now we're at 0-2. Yeah, they don't have it. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. The real story here is just plain giving up. I'm sure the Tigers wanted to give up after being down 3-0. Yeah, but the Mariners are different. They don't have a manager like AJ Hinch to actually inspire them to keep themselves in it. AJ Hinch is remembered a long-time seasoned manager out of Houston. And what is Dan Wilson? He's only like barely this is his first full season as a manager, and he's not even that good either. Now the 0-2 pitch. And that's going to be check swing, and that is going to be a foul ball. The only hope is it's been 30 years since the Mariners had their huge comeback of 1995. It was game 5, so maybe there's some magic there, but I wouldn't bank on it. As now we're at 1-2. And it's going to be popped up. Cal Raleigh or Suarez, and someone's got to talk, and Suarez makes the catch. And that's going to be the end. And now it's going to be 6 outs away from this series going to game 5. I don't know. I think Scooball is going to be very locked in. Like, this is like a pivotal game 5. It just feels like it's only a matter of time. It is, unfortunately, inevitable. Like the Tigers played with some heart down 8-1 last night. You're not seeing that. That's their attitude. It's true, Fritz. I'm just absolutely frozen from this. And the thing is, after the Mariners lose this series, I don't want to hear the words "there's always next year." There won't be a next year because you got Eugenio Suarez. His contract is up. He's not coming back because Mariners ain't paying. Josh Naylor's probably going to be gone. Logan Gilbert's on he's on deep into his arbitration. George Kirby is deep into his arbitration. Randy Arozarena is going to be $18 million. I'm going to say that this team's going to look a lot different next year, and I have absolutely zero hope for this team. Like, this was like win now. Like, this is World Series or bust. And now the pitch. And now here's going to be a blooper, and that is going to be a base hit for Josh Naylor. And now that's going to be a man on first base. I mean, not that it really matters because the game's pretty much over. And now going to be throwing into the bullpen. And now the pitch. And that is a strike for Suarez. And all Suarez is ever going to do is strike out. Randy's on his arbitration. And now the pitch. It's going to be a ground ball, double play ball, throw to second, and a throw to first. Jesus Christ, man. I mean, I know I'm a man of faith, but come on. This is such bullshit. Yeah, there is no next year. It's going to be a fringe 80-win team next year. Yeah, I don't think Luke Raley's coming back either, but they're going to slash payroll even further. And now the pitch. Outside for a ball. And after this game, I'm going to have Jay Trident podcast on. And now here's the 1-1 pitch. And that is outside for a ball. I get it. I'm not supposed to be negative. In Seattle, I'm supposed to be a positive fan. I've even had my own friends and family members saying that's going to be popped up. And it's only a matter of time, and it comes down and makes the catch, and that is going to retire the side. No, like, I get it. Being negative is a bad thing, but it's just that Mariners have been known to choke. Like, this is why I've been asking for managers like, hell, they had a chance to get AJ Hinch. Why didn't you get Joe Madden is still available? Theo Epstein's still available. But you're settling for guys like Jerry Dipoto, who is, by the way, an absolute narcissist. He is the biggest narcissist of an executive that I have ever seen. And we're going to be stuck with these guys. Just because they won a division, everyone's going to have their jobs on safety. And honestly, I'm perfectly fine just tanking the whole season if it means to get those two fired. And this negativity is not because I choose to be negative. It's just based on what I've seen from the Mariners. It's been 24 years worth of frustrations, one playoff appearance, and now it's two. And now here we are. They're on the verge of losing the series. It is an expendable lineup. It is. And there's no guarantees that the prospects are going to do anything either. They're just too young. Mariners have been known to not develop their prospects well. And it's also crazy to think that the Mariners also wasted an entire month of Harry Ford. And now they've already got an idea of who he is, but I don't know. And now we are back from the break. Now it's going to be bottom of the 8th. I think they're going to leave Carlos Vargas in there because this game's pretty much lost. And now it's Vargas, and now to McKinstry, and that's going to be a ground ball foul. Series is going to game 5, but it's going to be Tarek Skubal. Although the Mariners already got to him, it really doesn't matter. And that's going to be a foul ball. It's going to be 0-2. And now the pitch. And that's going to be low for a ball, 1-2. Now we're at 1-2. It's going to be inside for a ball, 2-2. And the pitch up high for a ball. And that's going to be 3-2. And exactly like, what are they doing? Now we're at 3-2. It's going to be a ground ball foul. And a base hit. And now the pitch to Dingler. It's going to be a ground ball foul. I'm already getting all my preparations ready for game 5. Yeah, probably Castillo, because you don't want Kerry Carpenter getting those at-bats against George Kirby. So I think it's probably going to be Castillo. And now the pitch. It's going to be a foul ball for Dingler. I want it to be a day game. I have to have it a day game because I have a tournament. I have another playoff game on Friday at night. So I'm going to I need the Yankees to win. And Carlos Vargas is proving himself out of the job. I don't want him on this team anymore. We're at 1-2. And the pitch. And it's going to be a foul ball. What I didn't expect was Spire and Bizarro to blow this game and maybe the season. Yeah, no one would have expected this kind of collapse. And it gets away, and now this is where you know it's over. And he's possibly going to third base. I mean, to go 4-0 against Tarek Scooball, I just don't see it happening. It just doesn't seem realistic. And by the way, you guys are playing a team that nearly missed the playoffs. Like, nearly blew it all up. Now we're at 2-2. And that's going to still be a foul ball. Still 2-2. Still 2-2. And the pitch. Outside for a ball. What are you talking about, Fritz? Yeah, Randy Arozarena with terrible fielding. That's what really killed it. And it looks like the consensus say it's going to be Luis Castillo for game 5. And by the way, they just pulled Carlos Vargas, and it's going to be up to Jackson. Luke Jackson's going to be the pitcher. Just so many things are on the line. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a strike. And that's going to be 0-1. And the pitch again. It's going to be a fly ball to deep left field. And now here's Randy Arozarena. And he makes the catch. And tagging at second is McKinstry going to third. I'm sorry, but I gotta type that one more time because I don't believe in my own words. The Pen has given up 10 earned runs in their past 3.2 innings. Yeah, pretty much. They really have. So it looks like game 5 is going to happen. It went from if necessary to the full 5. And now the pitch. And that is going to be a strike to Baez. Now the pitch. Up high for a ball. Well, I can't do the night game because I got that softball playoffs, so it's not going to work with me, unfortunately. Zach Clayton on my Instagram says we are in shambles. Absolutely. It's going to be a ground ball, and it's going to score another run. And that's going to be not in time. And it's going to be 9-3. They have beaten him 3 times in a row, and it's at home. There is still no guarantees. I mean, you can say that, but also maybe Scooball is due to win. AJ Hinge has experience running the team. People don't realize how much a manager really matters. It really does. I mean, look at all the talent the Mariners have. And they're screwing this up, and they're about to lose this series. Now here's Kerry Carpenter. And now the pitch. No, Gamer 11, you'll have to agree with me. What I don't like, though, is when people call me I'm a negative fan, not a true fan. It's like, I've been a fan since 2000. And what? You've been a fan since, like, what, 2022? Not you, Gamer 11. It's going to be 1-2. Scooball really did. One and two. It's going to be popped up, and that should do it for this inning. And there you go. But they still gave up runs. And now it's 3 outs away from going to game 5. And to say that I'm not as big of a doomer as it might seem against Scooball because I like our pitchers almost as much, but they're not going to get run support, though, because it's Scooball. It's not enough, Kevin. It's just not enough. You have to win the series. You can't just say, oh, at least we won a game. And they also should have, they almost blew that kind of game, sort of, because they at least made it frustrating in the bottom of the 9th inning. There's no guarantees. Don't forget, it's a pitcher's paradise park. Not that I like to make T-Mobile Park an excuse, but then when you put in Scooball in a very difficult stadium to play, then you're not going to really score much. The momentum now all goes to Detroit. Like, I'm again, if Mariners do not win this division series, if they lose this one, it will be a disappointing season. No, they have accomplished nothing yet. They got in the division by default by an insanely weak American League, and technically Yankees have a better record, but we still get the bye, yeah. But yeah, Mariners got it based on luck. And next year, there's just too much on factor. Texas run a down year. A's seem like they're on the upswing. Angels at least have decent young players to build around Mike Trout. And now we are back from the break. And now here is Robles. And that's going to be a strike. Only 3 outs away, and this series is going to Seattle. Now we're at 0-1. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. We are sitting here staring down, playing one series, losing it. Not a success by any measure. Now we're at 0-2. Up high for a ball. That is going to be 1-2. Now the pitch. Outside for a ball. The batters are going to be Robles, Crawford, and Rosarena. After this game, now there's going to be a ground ball right to second base. Doesn't even hustle. Like, there's just absolutely no fight in this team. As soon as it became 4-3, you can tell that they just mentally gave up. So after this game, after this thing goes off to Seattle, I will be joined in by Jay Trident Podcast. Now here's JP Crawford up to the plate. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball right to Baez. Throw to first in time. And now we've got 1 out away from taking this to Game 5, where it's going to be Luis Castillo most likely against Tarek Skubal. And it's going to be Randy Arozarena, and you can just tell he's not going to try it all either. Might as well end the game. Now the pitch. It's going to be a ball. Yeah, Mariners mentally gave up. No fight. Now we're at 1-0. Now the pitch. Up high for a ball. That's going to be 2-0. Now that you don't have Spire and Bizardo tomorrow, you're going to be stuck with the likes of Caleb Ferguson. It's not going to look good in the 2-0. And that is a strike. But at the same time, you do get 1 day rest. And it's going to be 2-1 for Randy Arozarena. Now the pitch. And now it's going to be a foul ball, and it's game time. Fans are up on their feet. They are cheering. Mariners had a 3-0 lead, and they squandered every bit of it, and they gave up 9 unanswered runs. And now it comes down to this. And now the pitch. And this series is going to Game 5 of the American League Division Series after a 3-0 lead the Mariners had. Then they just completely blew it, and now it's going to game 5 behind critical, terrible mistakes by Dan Wilson. And this is where, by Dan Wilson, where he pinched hit Mitch Garver for literally no reason. Although he got the bases loaded in some capacity, Victor Robles screwed up. He got an RBI, but he hit into a double play. So that may have given Detroit the momentum. And look at the Mariners. The looks on their face just says it all, that they are pretty much in like, oh crap. And now it does feel hopeless. And we got Jay Trask, who will be coming in in 5 minutes of time. It's probably going to be Luis Castillo. Now I'm going to read all the Twitter feeds. Got an Astros fans just screaming, ha, ha, ha. Then we got a Rangers fan just saying no better feeling than a successful hate watch. Let's actually take a look at this stuff. Ha, ha, ha. No better feeling. East Coast M says, now you have to beat Scooball for a 4th time if you want to see the ALCS. The overreaction of lefty versus righty batters frustrate the hell out of me. If a batter is hot, leave him in the effing game. Removing a player that just had a huge hit for a sub-200 batter only because of a right-handed pitcher is mind-boggling. I have no idea what Dan Wilson's love affair is with Luke Raley. Sick to my stomach, had a chance to bury the Tigers early. Not even then, Miller did his job, but Spire and Bizzardo, worst bullpen outings. Not only does Scooball wait Friday, Tigers offense now look awoke. Meltdown by bullpen. No problem. Just got to beat their best pitcher in baseball for a 4th time this season and 2nd time this week. Should be easy. Seattle had every opportunity to step on the Tigers' throat for the first 4 innings, and well, they didn't. Fair is foul, and foul is fair. Yeah, this is going to be an absolute murder of a game. And now it's going to go into game 5. Oh, we got Jay Trident Podcast on the show. Let's get him on here. I'm really glad you did not do this game with me because your microphone is muted. Oh, he pooped out for a second. Well, we'll just see when he comes back. Take your time. I mean, take as much time as you want because there's a lot to digest from this game. You would have really had to really step on a throat to overcome the bullpen. Kirby Garver had a great at-bat. Yeah, but Dom Canzone could have done a lot more. You're a little bit more positive. M starting should be good. Hopefully the bullpen got their bad day out of the way. I don't know. I think I see it more as, well, I'm really glad that you didn't do this game with me because you would have saw me chucking my Mariners hat, which is why I'm not wearing it right now. And I think you can assume when that happened. So
actually, probably a few moments that could have happened.
Anyways, how do you feel after the Mariners blew a 3-0 lead, 9 unanswered runs, and I have so much to digest from this game, and I feel like that we agree so much, so we might just take turns on it.
Yeah, you know, had they just there's so much that outside of you know, just the game itself. Like if they weren't facing Scooble on Friday, I'd probably be a little bit more like, okay, had they just gotten the doors kicked off of them from the start, I'd probably go, hey, Detroit was going to get one. You went in there, you split two, not the end of the world. But I mean, I'm not saying like bottom of the fifth up 3-0 is, oh, they had it. They were 3 outs away. But man, I mean, you had to feel pretty good. You know, Detroit definitely didn't look like they were, you know, on the verge of a comeback. Mariners certainly could have added on a few more runs earlier as well. You know, I guess you just got to look at it. Hey, you come back home, you get your home fans out there, and you get a chance to win it. So we'll see. Hopefully that's enough. But it's almost hard. I just like that pit in my stomach is just there. You know what I'm talking about? That feeling is just, it just feels gutted right now.
I'm with you. And I'm just looking at the box score, and the worst part of this whole thing was it wasn't even Kerry Carpenter. It wasn't even Spencer Torkelson. It wasn't even even Gleyber Torres and Riley Green. They didn't really put in anything until the game was out of reach. It was their bottom guys. It was Zach McKinstry. It was Dylan Dingler. It was Jahmai Jones. Like Jahmai Jones. Who is Jahmai Jones?
He's pretty good. He's good
Perez.
he bashes lefties.
He does. Wenzel Perez got something. Javier Baez was the one that really killed them. And he's also a nobody. He's like a 257 hitter. And that's what I've noticed throughout this season is the Mariners, like if it was like, here's the thing. If it was like Spencer Torkelson, Riley Green, and like Kerry Carpenter doing all the beat up, I actually would have somewhat accepted the loss. I'd be like, okay, fine. I mean, it's those guys. Like, what do you expect? But then it's the bottom guys that are more platoon dependent guys that you're supposed to be like shutting them down, but it unfortunately just didn't happen. And I know we're going to go way all over the place, but some critical errors I saw from this game was Dom Canzone getting pulled for Mitch Garver because of just a matchup just for literally one pitcher. And analytically, it still didn't make sense because Canzone's a 276 hitter against lefties, while Garver is a 233. So even analytically, it didn't even make sense. And he was the one that brought the Mariners that first run. So there was that. And I know that people are going to say that Bryce Miller shouldn't have been pulled. And I'll say it, even at the time, I was like, okay, fine. They seem to be getting to him because it did seem like it was happening. And we did trust Gabe Spire to get it done. We even trusted Bizzardo to put the Flames out. It just didn't happen. Like, I was more upset about the Canzone move than the Bryce Miller because Gabe Spire was already he's been unbelievable all year long. Even Bizzardo's been surprisingly unbelievable. So I don't think those were bad moves. It was just Detroit just really got to them. But I think the critical move Dan Wilson made was yanking your lefty who's batting 276 against lefties for Mitch Garver. And yes, Garver got the walk and eventually bases were loaded. But I just think knowing Dom Canzone's bat, I think he could have done a little bit more to the point where we didn't have to rely on Victor Robles and Victor Robles with bases loaded. Sure, he got the he didn't get the RBI. When you hit into a double play, you don't get that RBI. So sure, he technically drove in a run, but I would have rather not have a bases loaded situation with Victor Robles and JP Crawford, for example. I would have liked to see if just Dom Canzone just rips one in, which I really think he could have now.
But he doesn't do that much against lefties. His batting average is okay against lefties, but his power really isn't there. So I don't think it would have been. I mean, I don't disagree necessarily because then you have Rayleigh pinch hit, and Rayleigh's been terrible. But I think at the end of the day, Bizzardo and Spire. I mean, that's the reason at the end of this one. But I mean, I don't disagree. Like, I think you can make the case for leaving Dom. And I don't necessarily love like pinch hits that early in games, just because like later in the game it can come back to bite you. If Luke Rayleigh was good, then maybe I could be like, okay, I kind of see it. But Rayleigh's been so bad that you don't have that kind of backup behind the backup a little bit. But I mean, it's just, two of the guys have been doing it for you all year, and Spire and Bizzardo were terrible. It stinks. And it's like I said, I'd rather have seen Bryce Miller get blasted, because at least you go, oh, Bryce hasn't been good this year. And, I'm not super shocked. I kind of prepared myself for that. I was kind of like,
We all
I
did.
can see Bryce. Yeah, we were talking about, I could see Bryce just getting lit up here. And you get blasted, and I prepared myself for game 5. Then they get ahead. I'm like, oh, they've actually in good shape to win it. And it's just not how the script played out in my head, for sure.
But the script was supposed to play out. It was October 8th, 2025, the 30th anniversary of 1995 with the Edgar double. So fate had to happen. But hey, Mariners, because we've seen those on Twitter where it's like on this day and this day, parallels. And then the Mariners broke that parallel. They shot it to pieces. And out of all teams, it was the Detroit Tigers. And as much as I hate Detroit, I hate them so much because they're just so annoying. Like, if they were doing this if this happened against Yankees or Astros or even Blue Jays, I'd been like, okay, fine. They're a good team. They got good bona fide players, but this is a Tigers team where basically almost everyone is very platoon dependent players, but also just proves that so many baseball fans say, like, if you just put 9 good hitters and like 3 good pitchers on starters and relievers, as long as you do that, you don't need a good manager. Look at AJ Hinch. He's taking a bunch of scrappy players, taking them to the playoffs, forced the Mariners to game 5, especially when this team is known for having just Tarek Skubal, and basically everyone else are middle guys at best. So I hate the Tigers, but at the same time, I respect them because it's like they were able to fight back. Like even yesterday, they were still showing fight against Caleb Ferguson, where he gave up those runs. And now to think of it, maybe that was a red flag of like, oh, maybe Tigers are just being awakened. We've awakened the beast. And now I guess it kind of happened. But the other thing that gets me too is Randy Arozarena. He could not track that ball at all. Like, and I know how that feels. It's a worse feeling. But when you're a professional Major League Baseball player, you got that. I think any other fielder, like you put Julio there, even Robles there, that's a routine catch. And that should have been a routine catch. Or at least
Which one?
Don't let it.
The Dingler?
I think it was Dingler.
That would have been a catch. He could have cut it off, though. It would have been. There was no way to catch that.
But at least maybe prevent the damage. But he just let it.
He definitely should have cut it off, but the guy scored anyways when they put up like the next runs. But I mean, I agree. I thought it's twice in a row now, yesterday and today, that he took terrible routes to a ball. And then there was that one in the corner that we were talking about that was like, dude, I mean, it would have been a double anyways, but like maybe run after it a little bit more than you're doing.
Yeah, that's the jogging makes me concerned because I know what he's thinking. He's like, oh, well, he has a double anyway. I don't have to run, but you never know. What if he just goes to third base? And because maybe people can catch that. Like, I play softball. Like, when I don't see people hustling or when someone's like kind of lax, I will book it. Like, I've done that before where I had an easy single and no one was paying attention at second base or the fielder was just walking to the ball. I booked it and got to second base, and all my teammates were like, wow, good heads up running. So that's why I think Randy Arozarena, he's just got to be focused. And we just went from hoping that Mariners would get some really good rest until Sunday. And then I was kind of complaining about, man, do I want the Blue Jays or the Yankees? And now it's gone to, can the Mariners win 4 in a row against Skubal? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I saw someone post a stat that 97, the Orioles, I think, won 5 games against Randy Johnson. So it is possible. Like, sometimes teams just, I don't think the Mariners necessarily have Skubal's number or anything, but, definitely not impossible. But yeah, definitely just so many things, right? Like, if Brian Wu was healthy, and yeah, I don't know, maybe Wu gives up the runs too, but, and I don't want to pick on Bryce Miller. He absolutely did his job. If you'd have told me before the game, Bryce Miller 4 1/3, 2 runs, I would have signed up for it. Like, yeah, I'll take that right off the bat. But man, if Brian Wu's out there, maybe, he doesn't give up those runs and he goes 6 shutout, then Spire, Bizzardo come into clean innings and get it done. And if Scooble wasn't pitching game 5, like I'd probably be a little bit like, okay, like, we're back home, got a chance to win a series. Or if the Mariners had like won yesterday and lost, or excuse me, lost yesterday and won today, it'd be like, hey, we got a chance. We're coming home for game 5 against Scooble, who we've beaten. Like, it's just everything sequenced awful for us, man.
Yeah, for sure. Is there anything else that you may have saw? Because I think I've already covered all the critical points. I know I'm a monopolizing man. Like, I did not like pulling Dom Canzone. I did not hate taking out Miller because I was like, okay, well, maybe Gabe Spire can get us out of it. He's done it before. Bizzardo's done it before. And what else happened that was critical? I mean, everything else after that game, it was like
great.
Yeah. I mean, after everything after when it was like 4-3 or 5-3, we were like, we don't. It's pretty much like during the game, I had my streaming for game 5 as if necessary. I erased it once it got to like 5-3.
Well, a couple other things to call out. And I'm with you on the Bryce Miller thing. Like, and he hasn't been that great this year. It's hard to leave him in. You feel more comfortable with Gabe Spire. Bryce got you what you needed. The velo was starting to go down. He was starting to give up some harder contact. I think they made the right move there. But, the Mariners offense, we talk bases loaded, nobody out, they get one. At the time, I'm like, when you're in game mode, you're like, okay, got one. All right. Then they scored. I think they had a couple guys on in another inning and didn't add on when Dom had the base hit. JP had an at-bat. I think Julio and Polanco had some chances to add on and didn't at one point. I don't remember the specifics of who was up, but Polanco hit one foul. I don't know if you remember it was foul, but like, it looked like, maybe a little bit to the left. It would have been a home run and just, didn't get that kind of gap base hit to open up the game. And when you do that, you give a team life. And I'm not expecting every playoff win to be 7-0. You just can't do that. But, 3-0, the Tigers had some hope. Get a couple guys on, get into one. They didn't exactly do it that way, but you gave them some hope there in those later innings to still battle back. And I think that was a Tigers team that was ready to quit's the wrong word, but their body language wasn't great. I think you kind of talked about how then they kind of got back in it and you could see it really turn. But, when it was 3-0, that the crowd was booing, it was an afternoon game, so it wasn't necessarily like the packed house, not their fans' fault. It's hard an afternoon Wednesday game to get out there. You had it. You had the foot on the throat, and you didn't finish, and now they get to come back with the best pitcher in baseball. Anything can happen. I won't say the Mariners don't have a chance, but I would be 100% lying if I felt great right now.
Which we don't. And going back to the whole body language, you kind of just saw it where, like, I think we saw. I'm not saying that there was a chance where there was some times. I think it was a Rosarena or Robles. They could have beat it out, but they were certainly just jogging. Like, as soon as the ball touched the fielder, they just jogged. Like, I think AJ Hinch would have told the Tigers, like, just sprint your butt off. But the thing is, like, the difference between Tigers and Mariners, like, even when the Tigers were down 8-0 yesterday, they were still fighting. They still, like, yeah, sure, it was Ferguson, but they still took advantage of it. But the Mariners, they kind of were like, yeah, well, at least we have game 5. And so I don't know, like, can the Mariners beat Screwball for a 4th time? The question is to be remained, but I'm just saying they just better be ready for it. But now when we look at the scoreboard, we've got Randy Arozarena 1 for 5, very disappointing with the exception of that one base hit that he got from his 3rd at bat. Cal Raleigh did his job, got a base hit and scored in a run. That made it 3-0, and that's where we were like, okay, maybe this is a chance. Julio disappointed heavily after a really hot start in the first 2 games. Now he's batting .222. Jorge Polanco didn't really do 0 for 4. Naylor came back. I guess his new kid has really gotten him some new life in baseball and hitting. So 3 for 4, I'll give him that. And he scored in twice. He got scored twice. Suarez, heavily disappointing, 1 for 4. Yes, he got a base hit, but he's still heavily disappointed. And then Dom Canzone, the 1 for 1 is painful to watch because sometimes I wonder what more he could have done, because after that, Mariners went 0 for 2 between Garver and Raley 0 for 2, and Robles 0 for 2, didn't do anything except with a walk. And then JP Crawford, 1 for 4 with, yeah, he didn't really do much either. He got a kind of a bloop single thing, but that was really it. And other things that I noticed, that Mariners had so many runners left on base, and there was so much lost opportunity where had the Mariners take care of that, they left 7 runners left on base. And I'm not saying if they scored all 7 of, they would have, if they mathematically scored all 7 of them, they would have won 10-9. But maybe if you just cut those in half and maybe they scored 3 of those runs with runners left on base, and that doesn't give Tigers really a shot to make any kind of a comeback. So if I'm going to put the blame, like, as much as I dog on Dan Wilson for his pitching decisions, because they're almost similar to Service, at the same time, I got it. And you had a good point. It was a 95-mile-an-hour fastball with Bryce Miller. 97 was gone. But then, and I think it's going to be a 50-50 debate. Like, fans are going to say, well, Dan Wilson should have just let Bryce Miller finish it and go a little bit further. But also the people like us were like, but we trusted Spire and Bizzardo for so long.
Yeah, and it's like, yesterday we're talking like, man, Bryce Miller, you know what I mean? Nervous about it. And, Bryce did everything he needed to do. I'm with you. Like, you can debate it. I don't think it would have been like the worst thing to leave in. He was only at 50 something pitches, but I think he went max effort more on those pitches, and he looked like he was slowing down. The contact was harder. Unfortunately, players got to execute, and Spire and Bizzardo did not do that today. I guess better to lose like that than to be up 3-0 in the 9th and give up a walk-off or something. Listen, you got game 5. It's in your home stadium. As the game ends, I'm calming down a little bit, but it's definitely, definitely hard, and definitely, a lot of questions here. Unfortunately, like I said, I think it's just, again, being up. I don't know. It hurts, man. It hurts because I felt it. It felt like it was happening.
It really did, because I had the parallels of October 8th. Like, I was about to declare October 8th as Mariners playoff day or something, because October 8th, 95, October 8th, 2025, even October 8th, 2022, the Adam Frazier double to beat the Blue Jays. So, but going into game 5, I mean, I guess we can debate. Would you rather have Castillo or Kirby? I think most people are going to say Castillo, because I don't think you want Kirby to go up against Kerry Carpenter, who's like, what, 5 of 10 against. So I think you just got to maximize every bit of when you can. But then Castillo, like, he was great in game 2. Can he do it again? I don't know.
Kirby is on longer rest too.
Kirby is on longer rest, so that's like a huge debate. But and I still think it's going to go to Castillo to give Kirby a rest. Like, let's say on hypotheticals, they go to game 1 of the ALCS, and at least you'll have George Kirby. But at the same time, on the road, he's not great either. So I think they're going to go through all those numbers, which they don't go through all those numbers. But I mean, I think, okay, I'm just going to do this.
I think it's going to be Kirby.
You think it's going to be, let me see, Luis Castillo on the road.
Not good. I mean, I don't think it's
5.63, but yeah. I think they're going to go with Castillo based on Kerry Carpenter. But if he goes with Luis Castillo or George Kirby, I'm still not going to say, well, we're doomed. But
yeah, it's the rest thing for me. Kirby's got the full 5. Scoob will be on 4. I don't think they'll look at the ALCS at all, to be honest, in terms of game 5. I mean, because it doesn't matter if you don't win it. So I think it'll be Kirby. I think Castillo will be available if you want to do that. I think Logan will be available if you want to be honest.
3 days
2
rest.
2, actually. It'll actually only be 2.
Really? It's Wednesday. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
So maybe not, but I mean, there's no tomorrow, right? Like, so you got to find a way to figure it out. If that means that, if you win in game 1 on Sunday is Emerson Hancock, so be it. Like, you got to find a way to win game 5, and at least the CS is a best of 7. So, if you did win and drop game 1 in Toronto, not the absolute end of the world there. You can come back from that. So it's all hands on deck. I think it's everybody. It's going to take them all. We'll see.
Yeah, and I know that I've been dealing with some fans on Facebook going, "You're so negative. Why do you gotta do this?" Well, here's my reasons, because if the season goes down, there's going to be a lot of questions, and I shouldn't be talking about off-season things, but it's getting close. Randy Arozarena on an 18.2 arbitration, Logan Gilbert on a 10 million arbitration, Kirby on a 5 million arbitration. Suarez may walk in free agency. Josh Naylor still may walk in free agency. So for those fans that are like, it's okay, there's always next year, there may not be, because we've seen it before. I looked at every single playoff run the Mariners have had. Every single one of those runs, after the following season, they either gutted the team in half or into a quarter of it, or they just remained complacent and just didn't do anything after that. So that's my fear. Like, the reason I'm so heated, like you may have saw me throw my hat. It wasn't because we're losing the game. It's also because if we lose the series, what's the question going into next year? And I shouldn't be talking about it. If they lose game 5 on Friday, then yeah, I'm going to go all over the offseason, and there's going to be a lot to talk about. But until then, Mariners have just got to do their job, get to Scooball, do exactly what you did to beat him 3 times, and get that victory in front of your fans. And I guess, to be fair, the only time the Mariners in the American League Division Series, whenever they won their American League Division Series, they all won them at home. 95, 2000, 2001. So might as well be a fourth opportunity. Might as well be the fourth time to do it if they are to do so. But I think that's it. I think we really just covered like what was at fault and what needs to be done. But what are your final keys to the game for game 5?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. Similar game plan to game 2. It's all hands on deck. I certainly don't think you can just rely on, we've beaten Scooble, but you do have to keep that in terms of like a positive tone, right? Like, it's a guy we've beaten. We're at home. You still got a chance to win this, right? Like, this is not the worst position ever to be in. It's not like they were, lost to, or what am I trying to say? It's not like they're having to go back on the road after losing 2 games or something at home. Like the 0-1 A's, right? Then they win 2 in the row in Yankee Stadium. Then they came home and lost 2 in a row. Then they had to go back out to Yankee Stadium. The Mariners split at home. They split on the road. They had to get 1. And this is, again, try and be positive. Like, in my heart, do I really feel this way? No, I'm gutted, but I'm trying to, because the season is not over. And you come home and you got a chance to win game 5. So it's not the worst thing that's ever happened to a baseball team. Feels
it does. It's not like it's 2022 when you blew game 1 and that pretty much was the series. But it's just scary going into game 5 against Tarek Skubal. It really is. And it's almost like, it's one of those things I kept saying. It's like you're almost constantly poking the bear over and over again. The first 3 times you poked him, he's like not doing anything. And now, could a 4th time the charm be where the bear just jumps out and attacks you and just eats you up? That could possibly happen. So, man, if the Tigers' name were the Bears, I would be coming up with so many jokes on that. I would make so many jokes, but
you can still use Tigers a little bit.
Never poke the tiger or never poke the Scooball.
You shouldn't poke a tiger. So it is fair. It is fair. That's probably I'm not an animal expert, but I imagine poking one would not be a smart move.
No, and that's what the Mariners are.
You can poke Mariners, though. You can poke.
Yeah, you can poke them as much as you want. But yeah, I think that's it. But man, what a disastrous game by the Mariners. They had a golden opportunity to just get to ALCS, and now we're going to find out whether the game is going to be in the afternoon or is it going to be in the evening, because I think it's also contingent on the Yankees and the Blue Jays, because of course if the Yankees win, East Coast bias wants them to be on an evening game, and I'm actually rooting for the Yankees, because if Yankees lose and the Mariners do the evening game, I won't be there because I have one more playoff tournament for softball. So unless it rains out, which that's also a possibility, I won't be there if the Yankees lose. So I hate to say it, but go Yankees, just so I can have a show, but maybe it is best for me based on this game to just go play softball and just hit the ball and compete myself rather than screaming and throwing my hat everywhere.
And hope when you come home, you see a W.
I'll be watching it on my phone throughout the game, that's for sure. But I guess we'll see. But that is it. Thank you. And hit the like button, subscribe, hit notification, do the same thing for Jay Trident Podcast. And also, if you're going to the game, which I expect you to, use my promo code Rooftop Sports or JS Trident to get your $20 off. Save your $20 to save money on food or parking, because parking is so expensive. But there we go. Well, thank you very much. I'll be taking off. Trident's taking off. He's got to do his post-game show. And go Mariners.